Tarkov has many different weapons, some that are really good, some that were once good and then faded into irrelevance, and some that were dead on arrival. The Uzi fits squarely into that third category. To clarify for the angry mob that has rushed to the comments, I am not referring to the 1075 round per minute demon that is the Uzi Pro. I am of course referring to its cyclically stunted cousin, the standard open bolt Uzi. This weapon has a lot of issues. On a foundational level, 9mm is already a fairly off-meta pick. What do you mean you're not using 7.62x51 or 7.62x51? 9mm is a caliber that is characterized by low recoil at the cost of low penetration and low damage. PvP is your best bet at defeating armor with a staggering 39 penetration and a middling 44 damage. Thankfully, it only costs 1,000 rubles per bullet and is unlocked very late at proper level 4. Unless you absolutely no-life the new season, most people will be using tier 5 armor by the time you can run this round consistently. SMGs usually make up for their lackluster ammo by having a high rate of fire and virtually zero recoil. I can confidently say that the Uzi has one of these. Chugging along at 600 rounds per minute, the Uzi is not exactly what you would call a rapid distributor of ammunition. Aiming for the body is just not a good idea with this thing, as the time to kill is, well,
that man didn't even have armor on. Did I just miss? Jesus.
Look, I get that my accuracy probably wasn't the best in those clips, but the Uzi and its slow rate of fire makes your inaccuracy a lot less forgiving. Defeating armor, even with PvP, is a massive struggle, and the good old crutch of leg meta won't save us here, since literally any other SMG with a higher rate of fire will do leg meta better. But hey, at least it shoots almost perfectly flat, which makes it all the more frustrating that you can't put any magnified optic on it. The Monstrum 2X, the one attachment that practically every SMG in the game needs in order to become a head-tapping menace, does not fit on the Uzi. Because of this, if someone is outside 20 meters, the best you can do is angrily shake your fist at them. In almost every way, the Uzi is a direct downgrade to any other SMG, except for one major, somewhat phallically shaped feature. The only real quality of the Uzi is access to a 100-round double drum magazine. When paired with your pathetically slow cyclic rate, you end up with a somewhat comical 10 seconds of continuous fire. As such, this thing just might be adequate in a 1v1, not because it's good, but because the other guy is gonna have an awful hard time aiming properly as he's being repeatedly smacked by ball-peen hammers.
God, this thing fucking sucks. There's no fucking way. Jesus Christ, bro. I'm just trying to get to Icebreaker. That's why I only have PST. What are the odds of that happening? What are the odds of these events transpiring? I'm thrown in a corner watching a freaking Ken Burns Civil War video. Just trying to make it to Icebreaker. I'm sorry. No way. Well, that's unfortunate. I didn't even see the second one. But hey, I killed another human being with the Uzi.
Now, something you may have noticed from those clips is that I was doing pretty good in 1v1s, but the second another player is introduced, things went downhill pretty rapidly. Unfortunately, you can only stun lock one person at a time, so if they've got a friend, your odds are not great. PvP just doesn't kill fast enough. Even with headshots, the amount of ugly-ass arena helmets floating around means that face shields are abundant, and they have a nasty habit of being annoying. Up close in 1v1s, the Uzi is a gamble, and facing multiple people in any situation where you can't dictate the fight is practically suicide. There are two ways to fully maximize the efficiency of a 100-round box magazine through the Uzi. The first of which is to confuse people. Tarkov is a game that runs on muscle memory and intuition. If you shoot a long enough spray, people are just going to assume that you are out of ammo and need to reload. They then swing you, but unfortunately for them, you are the single dumbass in the province willing to use a giant drum mag, so instead of catching you off guard, they walk into a line of lead. In order to capitalize on this effect, you have to push very specifically. If you are pushing a hallway and you press the shift key at all, you're just gonna die. You need to be ADS'd and randomly sending out suppressing shots as you slowly walk your ass towards them. Trust me, you have the mag capacity. If, however, you are pushing through a building with a lot of corners, for example, a stairway, the secret is much simpler. Pre-fire everything. Trust me, you have the mag capacity. Now, there is one other scenario where the Uzi and its giant magazine actually work really well. First, you need a big group of people. Second, none of them can be wearing face shields. And third, you need to engage them on your terms. If these three parameters are not met, you're screwed. You ain't doing much. If you run into a three-man that looks like this, I have no advice for you. You're gonna die. It's asking for a lot, but in the rare cases where all these conditions are met, then the Uzi, well, I'm not gonna say it shines, but it does get to have a bit of fun.
He was really hiding for that long. Jesus, there was another one.
So how could we fix the Uzi and make it viable outside of these incredibly niche situations? Simple. Let me attach the Monstrum 2X. That's literally all you have to do. It'd probably fit. I mean, the EOTech fits, and Monstrums aren't that much bigger. Sure, the back of the sight might interfere with the rear sight guard, but I mean, they could put a riser on it if they really wanted to. Look, in my experience, not having the Monstrum was the single most limiting factor when using an Uzi. I couldn't adjust my aim for the head because I already wasn't super sure of where my bullets were going. It has everything it needs to be the ideal medium-range head plinker. It has good ergo and shoots flatter than almost any weapon in the game. But if your target is beyond 15 meters, you're kind of forced to just aim for center mass and hope for the best. Battle state. Please give us the Uzi with the 2x zoom, because that just might make this weapon viable as a funny off-meta pick. As it stands, though, it's really bad. And that'll about do it. Next week is going to be the Fallout video, so that will be very fun.